Welcome back to the Oakleaf Sports Report. I'm your host, Sean Dougherty, and as always, it is my pleasure to bring to you everything you need to know in the world of Bear Cub sports. So let's start the show with a trip to the soccer field, starting with the women's team, who after winning the state championship last year and hiring a new head coach, has been playing great soccer so far this season. The Bear Cubs held a 2-1 record heading into this past week and hosted Napa on Tuesday. One thing this team has done well is keep other teams, opposing teams, from scoring. And in fact, so far this season, in the games the Bear Cubs have won, the team has not allowed a goal. And that did not change against Napa. The Bear Cubs defeated Napa 2-0. And then on Friday, the Bear Cubs traveled to Sacramento to face off against Sac City in the team's first conference game of the season. If this game is any indication of how conference play is going to be, then it was a good omen. The Bear Cubs scored a season-high 7 goals en route to a 7-0 victory and another Bear Cub shutout. The Bear Cubs are now 4-1 on the season and are in first place in the Big 8 Conference. Up next, the Bear Cubs will head to Rockland on Tuesday to face off against Sierra, and then Friday will host Modesto. The men's soccer team is also headed in the right direction, and last week the Bear Cubs took on Kenyatta from the Coast Conference, and that game resulted in the first tie of the season for the Bear Cubs with the final score of 0-0. The men opened up their conference play on Friday when they traveled to Modesto to take on Modesto and came home with their first conference win in a 3-0 victory. The Bear Cubs are 5-2-1 so far this season, which puts them on top of the Big 8 standings. That's right, soccer fans. Both teams are currently in first place in the Big 8. This week, the men will continue conference play when they host American River on Tuesday and then travel to Stockton on Friday to play Delta. The Bear Cub water polo teams are struggling this season, and after last week's matchups, the women's team is still looking for their first win that matters in the standings. The women's team did manage to win the annual alumni game on Friday after losing to Foothill earlier in the day, 13-6. The Bear Cubs are 0-2 in conference play and 0-7 on the season so far. Up next will be a conference doubleheader against Modesto on Wednesday, and then the team will travel to San Luis Obispo for the Cuesta tournament on Friday. The boys are doing a little better. They hold a 3-7 overall record, but are 0-2 in conference play after losing to Diablo Valley on Wednesday by a score of 20-6. Hopefully the boys can get in the win column as they travel to Modesto on Wednesday. Then, this weekend, the Bear Cubs will play in the West Valley Tournament in Saratoga. The volleyball team has been a force to be reckoned with the last 10 years, and this year is no different. Last week, the Bear Cubs played 2 non-conference doubleheaders. The first was in Reading, where the Bear Cubs faced Shasta and swept through in 3 sets by the scores of 25-22, 25-15, and 25-10. But then something happened in the second match against Feather River that the Bear Cubs are not used to have happening to them. They were swept by Feather River by the scores of 25-21, 30-28, and 26-24. It did not take long, however, for the Bear Cubs to get back on track as the team traveled to Gilroy for the second doubleheader against Siskiyou and Gavilan. The Bear Cubs swept both those matches, first against Siskiyou by the scores of 25-8, 25-10, and 25-21, and then Gavilan by the scores of 25-18, 25-23, 25-17. This week begins conference play for the first place Bear Cubs as they host Diablo Valley on Wednesday and Sac City on Friday. Both games start at 6:30. Bear Cub football team traveled to Sacramento on Saturday to face Northern California's third-ranked team, the American River Beavers. The Bear Cubs hung in there until the fourth quarter, The game was tied at 21, but the Beavers put up 21 fourth quarter points to beat the Bear Cubs 42-28. The road does not get any easier for the Bear Cubs as the team travels to Fresno to face the number 6 ranked team in Northern California, the Fresno City Rams, on Saturday at 6 p.m. This is the final non-conference game for the Bear Cubs, and the team currently holds the number 13 spot in the NorCal rankings. Before we go, we want to let you, the fans, know of a few events getting ready to take place. First up, it's the 11th annual Cloak Classic Charity Football Game on October 20th at 7 p.m. at Bailey Field. The Bear Cubs will be facing off against the Foothill College Owls from Los Altos. The Clo Bowl is sponsored by Clover Stenata Farms and Dairy and La Tortilla Factory. The game benefits SRJC football and a local Sonoma County charity. This year's designated charity, as voted upon by the SRJC football team, is passed to Housing Stability, the Sloan House Women's Shelter. Over the history of this game, over $75,000 has been donated to local charities from the game proceeds. And it's more than just a football game. The SRJC Associated Students sponsor a carnival featuring games and booths beginning at 5 p.m. and is open to all attendees. Sponsorship opportunities are available by calling the SRJC Athletics Department at 527-4237. That's 527-4237. Tickets are just $10 for adults, $6 for non-SRJC students with ID card and seniors, and children, $4. Golfers, get your foursomes together now for the Santa Rosa Junior College Community Golf Tournament Thursday, October 4th. Registration starts at 8 a.m. and all proceeds go to Bear Cub Athletics. For more information, go to www.srjcgolf.com. Thank you for joining me, Sean Dougherty, as that's all for this episode of the Oakleaf Sports Report. And be sure to turn your radio to 96.7 Bob FM Wednesdays at 10:30 and Y100.9 at 11:30 for the Bear Cub Beat. And remember, you can only win the games in which you play, so play the game. Go Bear Cubs.